Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Morning, Jordan.
Good morning.
You're not well today.
I'm all right. I'll get through.
Right? Sort of half. On Monday night, you went down tired as...
That's what I was just saying that to Mum. I said, I said to Matt, I got to go at like 8 o'clock. We're at the office. I'm like got good stamina in the night normally.
I was just getting started.
You were just getting started.
Like,
you were like dying.
just...
I was like, I got to go.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Anyway, let's get straight into today. I've got a couple of really good questions today. But just a personal journey thing. So Bryce has had this friend for a long time. His name's Mick. Anyway, about a year ago, Bryce said, Mick this, Mick that, blah, 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 eat these pods. And I'm like, when someone says something to you, you don't really take it in. It's like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, so they were in this white bag in the fridge in the gym here. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to eat those. I was like,
what do they look like? Just a
I'll eat those.
white pod?
Like a pod, they
just
look
a little
like
white biscuit.
a hockey puck.
Right, okay.
They look the same. And they're about as thick as that, and they're brown. And anyway, I was like, yeah, nah. Like, it was just one of those times when you're sort of like, yeah, I'll eat that. And Bryce says a week later, do you eat it? And I'm like, oh, no, I forgot. But I just didn't want to. Anyway, the other day, I don't know how it came about. I was talking to Mick. Maybe Bryce said, give him a call or something. Don't know. Oh, that's right. I just wasn't, I've sort of been feeling good, like all right. But then, inside you just know that there's something more. And me, I'm always searching for the next best thing and the next bit of improvement. Anyway, I was like, gut health, there must be something more with gut health. And it was just the right time that I was ready to listen. That old saying that teacher comes when the student's ready. Anyway, Bryce is like, you should really talk to Mick about gut health, because I'd been like, well, my CPAP mask. I'm like, a bit, why do you wear that? Actually, we did a vlog the other day. It's first vlog in 31 minutes, and you could see the lines on my face from the CPAP because it was early in the morning. And people like thinking, oh, gee, he looks weird. But anyway, talking to him, and he's, my goodness, this guy's like a genius, but almost like a bit crazy professor genius, like just knows way too much. And I was on the phone for ages, and I like that sort of stuff. Like, I'm a bit extreme, so I can appreciate people when they're really hyper specific in an area. This guy has spent probably the best part of 20 years studying gut health. So I'm like, give me some of your knowledge. I want to understand all of this. So anyway, he said, you got to start eating these pods. So these pods are a formulation that he's put together. It actually came from, he's a hairdresser, and it actually came from...
How come he went into gut health in the beginning? Did something happen to him?
This is the thing. He was looking at women's hair, and his hands, after 30 years of working in hairdressing, and he could see all his hands are starting to be corroded by the chemicals. Yeah. And the women's hair looks healthy, but really unhealthy. So your hair is the last indicator in your body about your inner health as well. And what he saw was women are so focused on making their hair look healthy, but they have no idea if they're healthy inside. So he started to link all of this together. Like, women are spending all this money making their hair look, shiny and this and that, but really he could see it's not healthy. So he went on this journey of making chemical-free, like himself, chemical-free hair colors. And then was like, it sort of like went down that, I'm just trying to think the logical order that it went through. And then he came up with the solutions to do it. This is like a really short version. And then one day, like, he said to a lady, like, it's actually good for you. He was talking to her, and he started eating it. He goes, you can eat it. And she's like, what do you mean you can eat it? You put it in your hair, colors it blonde, brown, this. He goes, no, it's completely healthy for you. And then he went on this whole journey of, well, if you can eat that, and it's that good for you, what does it do to the inside? And all of this whole gut health, spiritual energy, and he was like, everything comes down to energy. I'm not going to go too much about it. I'm going to get him on a pod. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get him on a podcast because he just goes way too...
Can you just quickly... Can you tell us about yesterday?
I'll tell you about yesterday. But I'm going to get... So Bryce has known him for a very long time. And I think Bryce is going to be the interpreter between the public and him. because I've never met anyone with such a hyper specific brain in an area. He loses you in 2 minutes, like talking about, but it's a very interesting world. Anyway, so I've been eating these pods. Jackson's been eating these pods. You will start eating these pods. We're going to put the rest. Tara started eating. Tara half likes them, sort of. But literally...
She's probably not completely convinced after your meeting yesterday.
No, that's right. But literally, since I started eating them, because I was getting a bit sluggish getting out of bed. It's not like me. You know, this is what makes me think about all of this stuff. Like I was like sort of half dragging myself out of bed, where I used to bang out of bed like you, 4:30, boom, up, ready, can't sleep. I'd sort of lost that a little bit. My breathing was a bit laboured. I went for a blood test. That's how I came about it. Sorry. I went for a blood test because Tara's going through IVF at the moment. And she's like, I hope she wants me to tell people that. I don't know. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Anyway, I went for a blood test to give the doctor that. And my iron was almost 0. He said, your iron is
surprising.
So low.
You eat a lot of meat.
I ate a lot of meat. Well, this is the thing. This is
all
what
you
really
eat
made
all
me
day.
think. My iron was so low. Other things are pretty good. My cholesterol's bang on. But things were like way out of whack. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. So Bryce sent my results to Mick. That's why. He's better than any doctor that you've ever seen. Like literally knows every medical thing you could ever imagine.
So is he still a hairdresser now? Or is he he still
does this other thing too. And then anyway, so I went down to see him yesterday. Bryce goes, you should go see him. And Mick's like, come on down. But Bryce said, before you go see him, like, you got to understand he's like so smart. He's genius level smart in this stuff. So there's a bit of a detachment between meeting someone and talking to them and throwing an encyclopedia of every medical thing. I'm talking medical stuff from the tribes, the longest living tribe on earth. This guy studied them. This guy studies their microbiome, why they lived long. You know, the only reason I can't remember what they're called, Haraki tribe or something, in the middle of African jungle, he knows all about everything about them and about Americans. So here's an example. Your gut health is so important. And I was feeling this before I met him. Like I was like, there's something more with health. You can look healthy, but there's something more with it. And he goes, the reason that the longest living people on earth live this long is their gut health. So what they did was they studied this tribe. On average, each one of these people when they died had 6,200 microbiomes in their gut, generally, all of them. Women were having babies in their 60s in these tribes. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The average American has 700.
Why?
Diet.
What did they eat?
Diet. A whole lot. When I say why, that's it. Why? That's me yesterday. Why? All right, 2 hours later, I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness. I said to me, I can't listen anymore. I can't absorb anymore. It's too much info. You've never seen anything like it. Where magnesium fits into copper in the body and this and that. The cooling system of each cell is so amazing that it's like, it's a miracle creation. Like a cell of your body has its own cooling system within it. Mate, this guy knows, you've got no idea. Like Tara's open, but she's like a bit black and white as well. So like I could tell after about 10 minutes, I could feel her sitting next to me going, what the hell? We're sitting in Seven Hills in a factory talking to this guy who like, just like after 10 minutes, I could feel Tara next to me going, what the hell have you taken me to? Like sitting there. She was sort of tuned in, but after an hour, I could feel her like...
Her goals and your goals are very different.
So different.
You're like the definition of health, and Tara's like, just likes to be healthy now and then.
She's like, give me a bit of chocolate, will you?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Anyway, we after 2 hours of it, like I was like, because he was showing you how breath fits into... It is so intricate, I can't even begin to tell you.
So this guy, just describe him to me. How old is he? I'm trying to picture
He's
him in
about
my head.
55.
55. Is he like a fit, good-looking 55-year-old?
No.
No.
Well, not really. Like, he's healthy. Like, he's probably one of the most healthy individuals internally that I've ever met. Like, he said he doesn't go to the gym, but he can go to the gym and pump 100 kilos. Like, he does 400 to 500 push-ups every morning. Every morning. He does breathing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, this guy, his whole goal, I said to Mick, what's your goal? Like, what? This is like halfway through. I was like, I can't tell you the amount of info that was there. Like, it was just from another planet. But if you're interested in health and you could spend time with him over time, I think he would change your life.
So taking these things, whatever they're called, the pods. What's his conclusion around what he thinks the solution will be?
There should be no disease.
No disease.
So disease, if you followed what he teaches, disease should not exist. Did you know in that tribe, the Haraki tribe or something, they don't have any disease? None. They die. He said they die when they get old, they go to bed and they don't wake up. That's how they die. And it's proven. It's not for his opinion. Like, imagine studying something for 20 years in all different realms, in all different stuff. And so his whole goal is he believes that you can live without food and water indefinitely if you're energetically in tune. Yeah, this is where I got to. If you're energetically in tune, it's actually, there's a name for it, and people have done that. There's a guy, I saw a video actually a little while ago of a guy who didn't eat for 30 years or something. He's an Asian guy.
Surely not.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, his whole, it's actually a word for it. Like, there's a word of that. That's when you know, that's where he's headed. So he eats 1 meal a day, 2 pods in the morning, 2 pods at night, and 1 meal a day. That's all he eats. He says his energy stamina is like off the charts. He does breathing. But anyway, I am going to share a lot of stuff on this because I've started on the pods, and literally the second day I took them, I bounced out of bed at 4:30.
Does he know what's in them?
Yes, there's hundreds and hundreds of ingredients in these things, and they're sourced from all around the world. He didn't tell me. It's a bit like, I think, Kentucky Fried Chicken's special recipe. But he's a little bit, rightly so, a little bit protective of his IP. He could not market these things because he's the creator. He's like the Chinese guy that made the Red Bull formula. Like, he's that sort of guy. But I reckon I've got a great idea for I think every household in the world needs these things and Jack, how did you feel after you started eating them? Nothing. No. I'm only having one though. I ate about 6 a day. But yeah,
I love Matt. He's like, it's all or nothing with anything. Hey.
Yeah, but I could feel like it's anyway. I could feel there's something there. But I reckon, but probably where I was at compared to Jackson is I'm acutely aware of my body. Like, I'm so aware of my body, and I knew there was just something not right in there. Like, as in, when I say not right, nothing huge problematic today, but it could turn into something.
It probably takes time. Like, if somebody goes to the gym today and goes out and flexes their muscles, nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You only see it like a year down the track when you look back at where you started.
Yeah,
it's probably a bit the same.
And you were saying like chicken and all this is so bad for you, all of this stuff. But I'm not going to stop eating chicken. But I reckon there's a blend between Tara's world, my world, and Mick's world. I reckon there's a blend of all that in there where everybody could be, just by eating the pods and just by maybe a little bit of breath work, you could change your life, I reckon, and your health. Let's get into some other topics today.
Sure.
Anyway, so we're on the way home. Tara's like, I'm not eating any pods again. That's just what I listened to. Is just, she goes, she's like, I don't know what I was just sitting in there, but that's what I mean. He's the bridge between him and normal world is like, so it needs to be managed, I think. So here's a question from Ella.
You're going to have everybody writing to you about these pods now.
Well, I think everyone should take them. I reckon they're a game changer.
You should document it for 6 months.
Imagine.
We'll let you document it
I'm not
first.
saying these things do, but imagine Mick was right. And if you lived a certain way and you understood gut health, and that was your number one focus in terms of internal health, because it's like, yeah, you can. Why do people drop dead of a heart attack at 55?
Their lifestyle.
So many people. My mate just died of cancer at 48.
I reckon it's food.
Well, that's what Mick's saying. It's a lot of things, but
'Cause
imagine
that tribe,
that tribe.
that
That
they
doesn't
would
know
have
cancer.
they would have eaten nothing processed. It would have been probably just meat,
Yeah.
organs, vegetables. We're like, some of the food that we eat, I think, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, but what is that thing?
But on top
You
of
know?
that, Mick was saying he had all these charts, right, that he drew.
Yeah.
He spent 10 hours preparing before we came. Like, he had so much information. Anyway, there's 4 nervous systems in your body. Do you know most of us only operate on one mostly? And you know what that one is? The fight or flight one. I don't know what it's called, sympathetic or something. But he's saying that is the one you shouldn't be operating on. He said when you operate on that, your magnesium and your copper go way out. And what happens is when they're not taken care of, I'm just telling you what I heard yesterday for 2 seconds. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But he's saying when you do that, your body actually opens itself up to create disease. Like, this is what he was saying. He said it shouldn't happen. That's what he's saying. When your microbiomes are good, your microbiomes, and then you balance these other things, he said your body's working in the perfect order that it should. It's like a machine. It's the same thing. And anyway, it's very interesting stuff. So I'm going on that journey. I'll keep you posted. Within reason.
Are these Instagram questions?
Yeah, these are Instagram questions. So there's 2 or 3 questions. Here's a question from Ella. All right. Let me just see if I've got it here for you. Could you please do on a podcast an episode on your relationship advice? I don't know if I'm the best at this. Maybe I am. I don't know. Especially juggling career with relationships, whether having a partner is worth it in your 20s, Jordan, when building your career is a priority. The boy I'm seeing and I both listen to your podcast, and I think we're both struggling with the prioritization of career. This is right down your alley, Jordan.
Mine's pretty simple. My career is number 1.
Well, yeah, well, there you go. But now let's start with you.
Well,
Right, Ella's sort of saying, you know, is it what she? So they're both 22. There's like a bit more after that. We're both 22. We're both in real estate. We both have a lot in common. We share a passion for career and success. I've got a very different view than you, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a different case for different people. Like, some people meet a partner at 17 and they die together. Some people go through multiple partners through life. Yeah. Some people enjoy a career but can also prioritize. It sort of depends. Like, there would be very, very few people that would be spending, in my experience, the time that I do on my career.
How old are you?
27.
Yeah.
And I've worked like hard since 16, pretty much.
So you tell me every day.
Well, I worked 5 days, went to university, lived in a granny flat. Like, but my career's always been number 1, and I knew that. My family, I don't even bring into that whole conversation because I just don't. Like, I would quit my job tomorrow if Cookie needed care. Like, that's how serious I take that. So, but with a career and relationships, am I the best person to answer that too? I'm not sure, but I think you can feel inside if it's right. Like, if you're on the right track. I always refer back to the thing that says, if you wake up in the morning in a good mood, you're probably on the right track. Yeah. I wake up in the morning every day in a good mood. But I spend a lot of time at work, and that would always be my number 1 priority, I think. But what was Ella saying about, did she say something about along the lines of the guy doesn't prioritize her or something like that? Yeah,
that's like in the next part. Well, they probably feel like, well, yeah.
It's just,
I think that's natural. It doesn't matter whether you're 22 or you're 52. I think, yeah. You keep going.
Well, I break mine down into pillars. My number 1 pillar, it would be my family, but I've always had that moving. I always make time for it. It's non-negotiable. My family, that whole area of my life's fine. And then career's number 2. Nothing will get sacrificed over the career. Like, I would choose listing a property in Sydney, whatever it is, as long as it didn't come over family time, over a relationship, over a sporting event, over time with friends, over everything. But that's because my goals in my career are so big. But if they weren't, and you just wanted a good career, then it might be a bit different. Do you know? Look what you've sacrificed to get what you did.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world that you would have built the business that you have today without the sacrifices that you made. But if Matt Steinway just wanted a super office in Terrigal with 10 staff that all liked each other and a family and a good relationship, you might have been able to do it different. I think it depends on the level, like the size of your goals.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah, I think the age is important here. Like, I think 100% don't be in a relationship at that age if career is that important to you. What you're saying. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because you sort of don't know yourself either.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes a relationship can really weigh you down. This is just like, you know, I can sort of sit in a different position.
But is this our personality? Because look at my brother. He's 23, two
That's what
kids.
I'm saying, though. But career's not important to him.
It's not.
Mowing the lawn's important to him.
Family,
and
nest.
walking in and seeing that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
If career's that important to you, and I think you said it right, your values are, and you're very honest, career, family, this and that. But I think a relationship can weigh you down and create expectation on you for, especially when you're that age. You shouldn't have expectation on you. I don't think so. Like, I've been through 2 divorces, been married 3 times, got 6 kids. They're very expensive divorces. You know, they're very emotionally upheaval. I've had to bring Jackson up and his brothers and sisters separately. You know, it's like, if I had to look back, I probably wouldn't have settled down. And I don't mean settle down as in go be with all people till I was about 40 something. Because I would have made career my priority. If I'm really honest, I would have made career my priority, got a great place like that I loved, and just, you know, had a housekeeper and just done my thing and established myself and really understood what I wanted before I locked into someone. Doesn't mean you can't be with people for a while and that sort of stuff, but I would have been not so serious. Like, I would have just said to them, like, I'm doing my thing, career's important to me. If you want to be a part of my life, that's great, but that's where I'm at.
So do you think it depends in what order your pillars come in?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'm talking about myself. I'm not saying, Ella, go out and dump your boyfriend and do all that, but you've got to be real with yourself. I think sometimes we're a bit scared as well. So we're not like, we almost stay in stuff because it's easier, or it's like we're trying to make it good when really we just should be brave and just do what feels right. What you said then, how you feel when you wake up. If I would have probably made different decisions growing up. You know?
I think when one of your pillars is a bit out as well. Like if your
it doesn't flow.
It doesn't flow. Like if your family's good, great, and then your career's doing fantastic, and then your relationship like is a bit like, it's like, how come?
Yeah, if it
wealth, if you've got all like these cars and this and watches that you're paying for, you might be earning a lot of money, but it might all be going out the door to liabilities.
Yeah,
like that's a problem.
Yeah, it might. But see, when you hook your wagon to someone, they change. Their expectation changes. So if you're ready for that in your life and you're 22 years old, you need to be free. Like, you need to be, if you want to be a work machine in careers, Ella's saying career is that important to her, them, both, same. And it's like, I think people don't need to be so serious about stuff sometimes. Like, you're with someone for a long period of time, you start to develop history, you start to get all this stuff that, like, you're half living together and it becomes too complicated. You know, like, and I'm only talking about from my perspective. Like, I think there's a lot of value in just going on your own journey and setting yourself up. So when you bring someone into your world's already established. You don't have this mix of, like, Jackson is 23 years old. When he was 18, he got a dog with a girlfriend. All right. This dog is an like, she's chasing Jackson over this dog. And I'm like, mate, for goodness sakes, like, Jackson's brought the dog up, all this sort of stuff, but his ex-girlfriend's like hunting him down all the time, saying, I've got this dog. I want the dog shared time and this. My goodness, come on. You're 22 years old or something. Like, get on with your life. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't need that at that age. So you buy. That's what happens with relationships. Whether you like it or not, you get in bed, you're in there, and you start moving in a direction with life with someone. So 22 turns into 26, and you're half like, I don't really want to be here. You know, like you're with them, but you're sort of like, there's a big world out there. And then you go, we're sort of like half
Have a dog
live together, and we've got
Yeah.
this dog together, and what happens with the dog? You don't need that rubbish. Like, you bought the TV together. You got this payment plan over here that you're sort of half sharing, and I don't know what, all these things are just natural. That's what happens when you hook your wagon to someone. And then you got this history that you're trying to pull apart. And in your heart, you're sort of like, I don't really want that now. It sounds good in the beginning for the first 12 months because you're like, I'm doing life with someone and it's fun, and, we're a bit serious, and you'll get over that. You got so much time, it's not funny. Get to 40 and then go, I sort of know what I want in a person. And I think that's the key. Once you let someone into your world, I had no idea at 25 what I wanted. And I had kids coming. What a mistake that was. No, but you know what I mean? Like, life got serious real quick for me. Do you need that?
Like I was saying, it's different case by case for
That's
different
right.
people. But in this question, careers, I think it's very difficult to actually give a career a good crack with a girl unless she completely understands. Like,
Mate,
it's almost impossible.
I'll be honest here. Kim FaceTimed you the other night
Yeah,
at 7 o'clock and said, "Where are you?"
7:30. Yeah.
I wouldn't want that in my life.
Mm.
I'm not saying that for Kim. I love Kim. Kim's, whatever. But you're 27 years old. Like, I'm 50. And Tara knows not to do that.
Yeah.
Like, if I said I've got to be there, she'll expect me to be there. But she's like, still now, today, I'm still building something.
It takes a lot of time to build a business.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. At this age, I've given myself completely to Tara. Like, that we're building a life together. I'm all in. I'm with her. We've got kids. We don't have kids yet, but we've got other kids that we're all in. But at 20 something, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give someone that ability in my world.
Did you hear what Mr. Wonderful said?
Right.
Kevin O'Leary, he said to a guy, and I hope this doesn't polarize me, I'm just explaining
Probably
what
will,
somebody
Jordan.
said, but he said there was a guy in his class who's 21. He said, I'm 21, my business makes $5 million a year, but my fiance's like complaining that I'm not around, I've spent no time with her, I can't go to things with her cousins, I can't go to dinner with the family, blah, 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 blah. And he said, paused, it was the best. He says, what's harder to replace? A business that returns you $5 million a year, or a good-looking guy at 21 who's just told all of the people in this arena that you make $5 million a year? There's probably girls in here that want your number straight after we finish this talk. Or the girlfriend that I'm sure you love, but it's making it very difficult to run your business. And I thought, that's interesting because his business was a priority. But if you talk to my brother, for example, his family and his wife and his kids are the most important thing to him in the world.
He loves it.
So it's
everyone's
such
different.
a case-by-case situation. Yeah.
If you're wired like us, like you're sitting here at 27, wired like me.
I'm you
sitting
at
here
27.
50,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, I would have done things way differently. You need to be so serious so quick when you're so young. Build your foundation first, and then invite someone into it. That's what I would do. There's so much value in freedom, and like to wake up and go, I'm going to do this and that and this and that, because you only got so much time in the day. And when someone's going, hey, I want this chunk of time over here, and you don't, I just don't think people are honest with themselves enough, because it's hard to rip the Band-Aid off sometimes. It's hard to say, hey, I think you're great, but I don't want to be with you. It's not easy.
Yeah. You've done it a couple of times with
It's not
kids.
easy. It's not easy. But I think you got to go with exactly what you said before, how you really feel. If you follow that path all the time, you will never go wrong. Because when it's a bit half not right, it never all of a sudden fixes itself. It actually just gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that 22-year-old at 25, the business will be bigger, and then at 30, it'll be bigger again.
Yeah.
She'll get less
exactly
time.
right.
Less.
I'll probably have people messaging us saying, that's the worst advice in the world. Like, get rid of the people, blah, blah, blah.
Well, we don't think that. I think follow your heart. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have to. Quick one. This guy says, if you're serious about changing your frequency habits, what's your 5 Top books you'd read.
I've got them.
You do?
Yeah.
My nose is running today. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what books I read, which I've just read. I think Rich Dad Poor Dad's fantastic. That's my number one. What's yours? I'm just gonna get
Money
up
and the
my
Law
list.
of Attraction by Esther Hicks.
Law of Attraction's great as well.
Yep. I think The Secret's all good. It's a bit surfacey. The Secret's good. And Ask and It Is Given. Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. And Joe Dispenza, I think his name is Joe Dispenza. Heaps of stuff on YouTube with him. That.
It's funny, yours are all frequency. Mine's all money. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
My ones. And what have I got here? Master the Art of Selling.
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I said. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read that one?
No.
It's a good one. I like Never Split the
tried
Difference
to.
by Chris Voss.
I just read it. Okay, what's
Yeah.
that one? What's that last
Never
one?
Split the Difference by Chris
Oh,
Voss.
yeah, The Negotiator.
Negotiation. Yeah.
I just read a second book just now. Thanks, George. Jack. I no, this is like running. But I just read a second book, right? On frequency. You'll love it, Jordan. You can have the first signed copy. And my books are so easy to read. They're like 150 pages. It's like me talking. Like, you know how many books I've bought over the years and I've read 2 chapters and don't read anymore? I reckon hundreds of them. Hundreds. One book I've read 3 times now is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, I like Outliers.
Great book. Really good. I've read that 3 times. And it's quite a thick book. But it's funny, when I'm writing it, I always think of authors when they're writing books. And when they write thick books. I don't know how they put that many words in there.
Yeah.
Because they must actually try and make it big. Because
Have you heard of this? It's
Yeah.
called Mentor Box. And what it is.
yeah.
How good
They
is that?
break it down.
They literally they book 100 pages into 5 pages. The
mate,
main key points.
This is what I'm saying
It's
to
the
you.
best.
But actually writing a book, I don't know why they try and put so much stuff in a book, because it's like you can get a point across fairly easily. Like, if you really think about frequency, and don't worry, Jordan, we're not going to turn this podcast into a frequency one. But if you talk about frequency, all frequency is a thought process that governs your mood. That's it. So that's all frequency is. What you think about and what you focus on creates a reaction, an emotional reaction, and that will guide you to a frequency base, it's a constant frequency. So if you're in a mood and you can move it off, like over the last couple of days, we've been like sale a day, and I found myself looking for the sale. I'm like, okay. And yesterday I'm like, that's the wrong frequency. I don't want that frequency. So what I've done is moved my frequency to a sale that's happened recently. Terrigal Medical Center. How good it felt. So when you want something, you're thinking about most of the time the absence of it. But when you think about something that's already happened that felt great, like the sale that completed, you have the frequency of it happened. So you have the frequency of having it. Very interesting.
So you think, where am I getting that feeling from? Where's that feeling coming from today?
You got to govern your feelings. Your feelings are actually talking to you constantly about what are they matching out in the universe. So what are they matching? That's the whole thing with emotions. So when an emotion is a reaction, like emotion is like, friggin' Jordan, you friggin' son of a bitch, why you do this to me? La 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 la. Your frequency, that feeling, you're having a reaction to something on what you thought about. So you thought about Jordan stole $10 from me. I found out Jordan stole $10. That friggin' Jordan, rah, 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 rah. So I'm having a reaction to the thing that I've thought about, so that I've interacted with. So that feeling, then when I'm stewing on that, going, rah, 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 that feeling is pulsating out to the universe, and because you got to see everything in energy, it's energetically flying out to the universe and pulling every single circumstance that matches it into your world. So when you get into the car and you're like, Jordan, I can't believe he did that. I trusted him with my life. This and that, la la, stole $10, rah rah. Drive out of the here. I'll guarantee you, someone will cut you off down the road, or you'll have a car crash, or you'll get a flat tire, or because you'll hit the screw that's on the road down there. That's what will happen. Or you'll jam your finger in the door or something. All you're doing is creating the movie scenes for as you're moving forward. That's all you're doing. So all the next lot of the movie scenes that you haven't got to yet, you're just lining them all up for yourself. So if you go, Jordan stole $10, no, he must have needed it. That's all right. I'm sure he would have told me. We've got 15 years of great relationship, never stolen anything from him before. Gee, he must have really needed that thing. I hope he's all right. Yeah, he should be fine. I'll catch up with him somewhere. Maybe he needs 20. I should see if he needs some more money. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, cool. Off we go. Then I'm going to put something on in the car that's like, I don't know, Esther Hicks, or I feel great, or think about my kids, or think about your grandma, or whatever, stuff like that. See, now you get in the car, putting the music on, drive along, thinking about all the good things that are happening around you.
Connected to the good stuff.
Someone lets you in. Drive around, get out of the car. You know what you're going to find on the ground? $10. Oh, gee, you got $10. Found $10. Sure. Off you go. See the difference? That's all you need to know about frequency. Nothing else. You don't need to know nothing else. You can study it all you want. So the second book, 14 chapters, 150 pages. That's about it. Don't need to know most of it. It's a few stories in there and stuff. Just read the second chapter. I think it's about that. It's about that. That's it. So what I was saying before, I don't know how people put so much stuff in books.
Yeah. It's because probably book people aren't like you. They're hyper detail oriented.
Yeah. It's like the factory here, Bryce, and putting timbers everywhere.
You writing a book and Bryce writing a book would be completely different.
Yeah. He'd write an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
I would write a pamphlet. Yeah. This is it.
Yeah.
Anything else from today?
Was there any other questions?
No, I think it's like enough. Hope that answers people's questions.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
If people have some questions, they can send them in. We'll do them when they want. Like if there's a lot of questions.
Should we go back to doing a 30-minute live on a Thursday?
Yeah,
too much?
Sort of. I don't know.
I like 30-minute lives.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got a 31-minute hat on today, George.
I love my 31-minute hat.
Yeah.
Just going to get some McGrath ones.
I haven't ordered it yet. I've just started the 31-minute clothes.
31-minute clothes.
To start. So I've got a friend. Am I supposed to talk about her? I don't know. Maybe bleep out her name, please, Jack. But I've got a friend who can organise them overseas. Not going to get many.
Can you get some decent shorts?
Yeah, I am. I'm making
the shorts things that bother me.
Yeah, I'm making 3 different things of shorts. So longer ones like I wear, and then one's in the middle.
Yeah,
so I wear like hot pants, and then like
you wear undies.
Yeah, I wear undies. Yeah, and then so 3 different lengths, but with that good material, like that one, and then the 31-minute shirts, just men's activewear. There's just no men's activewear that you would buy. Is it going to
look exactly the same as that? Like,
I don't know. Well, you'll be involved, so have a look when it's coming. But that I want Mick to make these pods for everybody. Really want to do an energy drink. We're doing an amino acid formula, which is Bryce's formula, like a bodybuilding formula that you should take every time you go to the gym. That's a bit of a secret formula of his, so we're going to that. Anyway, just slow and steady.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. Anyway, thanks for today.
Thank you.